Hey guys, Chicago injury lawyer Scott DeSalvo here, and in today's video, it is the topic, if I call my lawyer more, does it speed my case up? So, I definitely think that I have had some clients in the past who think that if they call my office more, then the squeaky wheel gets the grease and their case moves through the system more quickly. Now, that's actually not true, and it actually works contrary to the way you think it does. See, to believe that calling my office or calling your injury lawyer's office more will speed up the case suggests that your lawyer is the bottleneck in the process. And everybody's heard the old saying, the wheels of justice turn slowly. Well, that's what they mean. The process, the law process, whether you're just in the claim stage or whether the case has been filed either at the Workers' Comp Commission or at the courthouse, there are simply processes that must go through, right? So I've got other videos that explain the entire injury case process, but in summary, one of the number one things you need to understand is that until you are done going to the doctor, we can't even order your medical records and prepare a demand to the insurance company to get an offer on your case, right? Why is that? Well, once we settle your case, the case is over. So unless we know exactly what's wrong with you, exactly what medical care you need, and ideally that you complete that medical care and reach a level called MMI, maximum medical improvement. That's a workers' comp term, but in third-party cases, it's just, are you done with treatment? Are you as good as you're going to get? That's what PI lawyers say. A lot of them don't use MMI or maximum medical improvement. I just do because it's efficient. MMI, fewer syllables, right? This way I get more syllables to explain how injury cases work for you guys, right? So once you hit MMI, then you notify your lawyer. Your lawyer orders all your medical records. In my office, listen, from the law firms I've worked at before starting my own firm, and this is the way I did it for the first several years, most law firms don't do any sort of medical summary. They flip through the medical records quickly, just for the information they need to write your demand, right? That's not how we do it in my office. Every case in my office, other than the smallest of the small cases, like if I'm handling a case where you go to the emergency room only and get one follow-up care with your family doctor, a full-blown medical summary is not necessary, right? So I would say 99% of my cases, we do a full-blown medical summary, a very detailed, multi-page medical summary of every visit to every doctor you've been to, which include your diagnosis, the treatment plan, the care you receive, everything, all of your complaints, the whole 9 yards. Very, very detailed. And it's time-consuming to do, but it is worth its weight in gold because it also helps us write a very, very detailed demand letter. So in my office, 99% of the time, we're sending the insurance company a 10, 10, 12, 14, 20, 22-page demand letter in the exact order that their computer system asks them to punch in the data with all of the detailed information. So since I've been doing that, we've been doing that for a number of years now, definitely we've seen our offers go up, and we've definitely seen our time to settle cases faster. And I think that the reason why that's happening is that an adjuster will look at our demand and say, oh, this is going to be an easy one for me to enter into the system because I got all the data right here. So I think that they put ours on the top of the pile because they're well written, and the adjuster doesn't have to dig through the medical records to enter data themselves, right? So that's at least a theory, but it's consistent with what I know happens in claims offices. So it's been a great success for us. But my point is, we can't settle your case until we have a complete picture of the medical and we know you're better. Because if we settle your case before we know everything that's going on and you've gotten all the major treatment you need, we can never go back after the case is settled and get more. So what you think might be your attorney is lazy, your attorney isn't paying attention to your case, is actually just there are certain things we have to wait for. Getting medical records takes time. Getting a response from the insurance company takes time. getting an initial offer, and then getting that offer up into the range of what is reasonable. All of that takes multiple phone calls, multiple efforts, and it's a step-by-step process. So what happens when you call your lawyer's office every week or multiple times a week? Even though the lawyer tells you, give me a call in 30 days, if you're calling them every day, every couple of days, this is what happens. You're taking time away from that lawyer and their staff actually pushing cases forward. Because, there are a lot of lawyers out there. The number one complaint against lawyers is they don't call their clients back. Believe it or not, that's the number one complaint, is that people don't hear from their lawyers, which I can understand. It's a busy, detailed, telephone-driven job, and sometimes at the end of the day, it's very hard for me to want to get on the phone and talk to people, especially if I'm in an emergency situation at my office or something. Boy, it's difficult to do. I really don't want to do it. You know what I mean? I will often do it, or I'll often wait until the next day or until the crisis or emergency in my office is over, and then return a bunch of phone calls. And I also rely on my staff to call a lot of people back, right? Because there's limited hours in the day. If I called everybody back myself, every time I got a phone call or a message, I would do nothing but be on the phone 10 hours a day. Not an exaggeration. So what you're really doing is, by calling and calling and calling and calling, the lawyers begin to feel like, I've explained what's going on. I asked them to call me in 30 days, and they're still just calling 3 times a week. It's counterproductive. It is not moving your case forward faster. It is frustrating your lawyer, and it's damaging the relationship. Now, that's true for people who call all the time. But as I said at the beginning of the video, most people are very nice and very reasonable. I have clients who I basically never talk to, because they check in with my secretary, and the secretary knows what's happening on the case, because we have firm meetings multiple times a week where we talk about cases and what's going on in the various cases. So, that's what's going on there. I don't mean to suggest that your lawyer should never talk to you. I don't mean to suggest that you should never call your lawyer. I don't mean to suggest that you shouldn't call your lawyer if you have questions, or if you have an emergency, or you have a problem. In those situations, you should talk to your lawyer. Now, I've been talking about the problem client who calls too much. The other side of the story is, I know for a fact that there are a lot of lawyers who never call their client back, or they get their client on the phone, and it is obvious to the client that all the lawyer is trying to do is get off the phone as fast as possible. They don't want to talk to the client. They don't want to hear any questions. They don't want to tell the client what's going on in the case. They just want to get off the damn phone. Well, I have sympathy for lawyers, because this is, it's a tough job. It's high pressure, a lot of hours, a lot of reading, a lot of phone work, a lot of details. And, if you do what I do, I only get paid when I resolve cases for people. So I'm always thinking about, where's my next case going to come from? What cases in my office are going to settle? For the cases that are in litigation or we filed a lawsuit on, what do I got to get done next week on those cases to move the cases towards trial? And a million other things, like, doing taxes for a small business. What a hassle getting my tax stuff together, or, getting notices from unemployment or crap like that. It's like there's a million little things that pull my attention away from being a lawyer when you own a business, right? But that's just the nature of the beast, and it's what I signed up for, and I'm happy to do it. I'm not being a crybaby about it, I hope. I guess you're the judge of that, whether I'm being a crybaby. I really am just saying it to explain to you that even though it may seem like your lawyer is on vacation, if you have a good one and it takes them a little time to call you back, being patient is probably a good thing, because they've probably got more things on their to-do list than you can even imagine. Now, if you've got a lawyer who never calls you back and their secretary is rude, then you might want to consider whether you have the right lawyer for you, because I really believe that you have a right to call your lawyer and get information from your lawyer. And so it's really a balance. It's the ideal is when you have a good lawyer who communicates well and a reasonable client, then you have a really nice relationship. And thank goodness I have a very, very nice relationship with most of my clients. So the answer to the question is, if you call your lawyer every day or every week or every couple of days, is it going to speed up your case? No, it's actually going to slow your case down, because every minute your lawyer spends talking to people that the phone call's not really necessary, or the lawyer's already advised you, it stops the lawyer from doing other work in their office, including pushing your case forward. So it's something for you to think about. I don't want anything in this video to suggest to you that you shouldn't call your lawyer if you have a question or a problem, but it just gives you a little perspective, shoe on the other foot, let you walk a couple steps in the foot of what it's like for the lawyer and what the legal system is like with injury cases. Okay? So, end of sermon. Thank you for watching. I hope you and your family are well. If you need a lawyer, or you know anyone who needs an honest, good, hard-working lawyer who resolves cases quickly, for good amount of money, does great work on the cases, I hope you'll agree with me that that's me. You can give them my number, or you can give me a call at 312-500-4500, 312-500-4500. Call anytime, day or night. I'd love to hear from you. God bless you and your family. Have a great day. Take care.